Aquino III.
Salamat po. Please take your seats. Hinga lang ho akong konti sandali. Medyo hindi ako nakapag-practice kahapon. Kaya anyway, sa ating pong chairman, Francisco Duque, kay Commissioner Robert Martinez, sa former Senator Joelina, sir, sa aking colleague si Secretary Babe Singson, si Assistant Ombudsman Evelyn Baliton, si may representative yata from TICOA Commissioner. Hi, hello. Our awardees and families, especially the wives and the husbands, mga kasama sa gobyerno. On behalf of the President, I'd like to convey his gratitude for inviting His Excellency to address you today. But however, pressing matters that require the President's attention mean that once again, I have the privilege of speaking to the best and the brightest of the Philippine bureaucracy. Siguro po maganda palakpakan natin ng mga awardees ngayon. At last year's awarding ceremonies, an earthquake had recently hit Bohol, and the national government was focused on mobilizing its resources to assist the local governments in Central Visayas in rescue, disaster relief, and rehab efforts. In my speech, I mentioned that at one point, over 3,300 national government employees were in Bohol attending to the needs of our countrymen. 2 weeks after I delivered that speech, Typhoon Yolanda struck, and you know what happened. Once again, the national government had to marshal its resources under the most difficult of circumstances to come to the aid of Filipinos who had been in the path of what would be the deadliest typhoon in our modern history. Today, I speak a week after the nation held its collective breath as a Yolanda-like typhoon again threatened Filipino lives. Typhoon Ruby was such a strong typhoon that we decided to move the first APEC meeting from Legazpi City to Manila. This was just one of many precautionary measures undertaken to ensure that the national government and the LGUs could focus at the task at hand, and that is saving lives. As our experience with Typhoon Ruby showed, through government workers play an important role when disaster strikes, they play an even more crucial role before these calamities hit. Thousands of lives were saved last week through the timely and expeditious evacuation of citizens in the path of the storm. Evacuation centers were ready, as were food packs for those to be relocated there. With the national government working hand in hand with local governments, we weathered the storm with minimal casualties. This afternoon, we are here to commend all civil servants who have made a difference in the lives of our people. This, essentially, is the basis for choosing the recipients of the Presidential LINGKOD BAYAN Award, the CSC Pag-asa Award, and the Dangal ng Bayan Award. It is too bad that we cannot give awards to every public servant who has made a difference in the lives of our people. Because if we were to ask those whose lives were saved last week, they would surely nominate countless and nameless government workers involved in the 24/7 disaster prevention efforts last week. Maybe we cannot give them all awards. Kulang ho yung pera natin eh. And they probably will not want them. But perhaps we can recognize their sacrifices with a warm round of applause. Our awardees today, like those who serve at the front lines of disaster mitigation and response, serve as a reminder that public service is a noble calling. You are being honored because you represent what it means by going the extra mile to serve our people. You are here because the extra toil and time dedicated to your jobs has redounded to the benefit of our people. You are being recognized because you reflect the ideas and virtues expected from the men and women who comprise the Philippine bureaucracy. Before ending, allow me to offer a word of advice for those who will continue to work in government. Kami ho kasi 1.5 years na lang to go. It will not always be a smooth path. Your work will not always be recognized. You will sometimes encounter resistance from the very people you seek to serve. And yes, you will always and forever be underpaid. But when these trying times do come, remember these lines from the paradoxical commandments. And I quote, "If you do good, people will accuse you of selfish ulterior motives. Do good anyway. The good you do today will be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway." Honorees and fellow public servants, continue to do good for the greater good. Thank you and good afternoon to you all.